Cardano holders, welcome back. I get a lot of comments with people saying basically that Cardano is down, even though that the success that we've had, it goes quite unnoticed, honestly, because a lot of people still look at the all-time high values for Cardano, and that seemingly is what everybody's fixated on. Okay, so we're gonna kind of put in perspective what's going on right now in 2025 versus 2021. Because there's one analyst out there that does talk ADA, talking about these similarities that do point to potentially seeing some huge gains for ADA. I want to break that all down for you guys in this video. For those of you that do not know, my name is Mark. We talk Cardano each and every single day on the channel. Welcome back, and let's get it going. Let's talk some crypto. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Turn on that notification bell. That way you guys get updates as soon as I post them. And we're going to get into this conversation right now as we are looking at that 2021 cycle and the similarities that are pointing to a potential $5 to $10 rally. Now, guys, this isn't financial advice. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not making this video telling you that Cardano will be a $5 to $10 crypto tomorrow. It's not how it works. Always make sure you do what's best for you. I'll never tell you to buy or sell crypto, but it is relevant. I think this is something where I've seen a lot of the comments from you guys. It's pure frustration for the most part, okay? That's something where, myself included, some of my best and worst trades have all been on the heels of owning Cardano and trading Cardano, okay? But we're gonna put it all in perspective. We will take a dive into what we're seeing here in the coin market cap the list. And as we do look at one thing in specific, we are seeing a shift towards altcoin season, okay? Despite Bitcoin retreating back into the $110,000 level, we're finding a lot of refuge within Ethereum traders, and it's been holding pretty true. I know it's down almost 9% over the last 24 hours, but as we do look at it, still trading at almost $4,400 for one ETH, that does kind of pave the way for what we're looking at for a great altcoin season. It's not something where it's going to be pretty, but it is still going to be prevalent, as we have been running extremely hot. The entire crypto market, despite Bitcoin being down at 110,000, is still up to a $4 trillion entire market cap, okay? So put that in perspective. That's exactly what we start to see during an altcoin season, right? The interest, the sentiment shifts away from BTC and into some of the alts, and that's kind of what we're looking at and faced with as we have a lot of decisions to make. And for Cardano, as we do trade it, still 10th in market cap. Kind of shocking to see TON above it, but it is just a ranking. It's nothing where it's like the end all be all within the rankings, because in a world where the entire crypto landscape ascends and we do hit something crazy like a $10 trillion market cap, Cardano could still be ranked 10th and we could still be in a good spot. But for anybody out there, just the ADA maxis, perhaps, that is something that would kind of be more pressing of an issue, okay? But as we look at the charts, even dating back to where we were at in 2022 and 2023, at least the early part, that's kind of where we've still been on a pretty nice and steady uptrend, okay? And I think that when we talk about Ethereum recently having those all-time highs, there's been a ton of volatility. And this is something we talk about the breakout that Cardano had in 2021. We'll kind of put this one in perspective as you look at kind of the breakout, very similar. And that's exactly what we're going to get into as we dive into this article. So I do appreciate you guys sticking around. If you haven't done so by now, hit that like button and subscribe. We'll continue talking for a couple minutes and get you all on your way, okay? But before we hit the piece, I do want to share with you guys BITUNIX, okay? This is one of my trusted exchanges. If you aren't trading on BITUNIX, I do have a link down below in the description. And the reason why is if you are a spot or leverage trader, okay, this is where through September 11th, you will get a 25% bonus on your futures deposit, okay? Very exciting. So who doesn't like free USDT to go alongside their trading? So if you deposit 2,000 USDT, you will get a 400 USDT deposit bonus in your account. And the first 30 users who register and make their first trade will get 10 free USDT in their futures account as well, okay? So very exciting, great exchange, 3 million plus global users, and great interface. If you are a mobile trader, desktop, all that good stuff, it's very, very respectable in that regard. So if you have not checked out BITUNIX, consider making the switch. Links are down below if you do want to start on that platform, okay? But back into it, this is what we came here to talk about. Now, the similarities we're going to highlight right here is the wedge pattern that could spark a major breakout rally. We saw targets for $2 in the short term to 5 to 10 if the momentum does sustain. And this is where we're mirroring that 2021 fractal, but the hinge on adoption and market sentiment is what remains kind of the more pressing argument. Now, this is something from Dan Gambardello, one of the more outspoken voices within ADA. Okay, he is a Cardano bull. And this is kind of where you look back in 2021. we had Cardano trading at approximately 38 cents while sitting 240% below its 2018 peak that was sitting at almost $1.40. This is where Ethereum did break out to new highs, and Cardano eventually climbed roughly about 750% to reach 310 in September of that year. Now, we're in August. We're days away from September, so keep that in mind. But the positioning that we are seeing shows a lot of eerie similarities and characteristics. What we saw back way back when in 2021. Now, this is where you're going to look into it more so. His video, he did a breakdown on this, but you talk about the Bitcoin dominance shifting, the volatility that we have in the markets, and also kind of the cues within what Ethereum did in its all-time highs. This is where we look at Cardano in the wedge formation, creating that potential breakout setup that we're going to be revealing. It has been rough. We'll talk about it more so. You can see kind of what I'm alluding to as if we look over the last 7 days, almost down 10% from the time period that we looked like we were going to breach through a $1 threshold. But from there, guys, this is where we turn back to the conversation, okay? This is where we have gained over 300% from the cycle lows, where we did recently have peaks of over 500% before that consolidation. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys, right? Yes, if you were a Cardano, and full disclosure, I was at $2.90, okay? I'll wear it. That was one of my worst trades of all time, but I also bought a ton of Cardano at the sub 25 cents level way back when as well. So sitting here where we're at right here, right now, allowing dollar cost averaging to do the rest, it's not really that bad of a place, okay? We are in a very good spot with Ethereum pressing what it's doing, the shift towards altcoin season. Yes, it may be a little bit of a sting for people that just solely hold Bitcoin, but for Cardano and replicating what we're seeing here in the 2019 to 2021 levels, this is something very similar to what you would call like a price reaccumulation, okay? Yes, nothing's really changed. Adoption has grown. Back in 2019, 2021, fully speculative. There was no vehicles, there was no products out there in the market, right? It was just crypto tech, blockchain, and speculation. Nowadays, we have ETF talks, we have government adoption, institutional use. It's a whole different world, and it's just shocking for most, I think, when we compare that to where we're at now, and you realize that we're not even close to that $2.90 level that was the recent in prior all-time high for Cardano, okay? So yes, I do know what I'm talking about, and yes, I don't need corrected, so to speak, when I'm talking about Cardano is up, it's pumping. It is. There's a lot of people who trade Cardano in the short term, okay? It's not just always a macro buy and hodl approach to crypto. There are a lot of short-term trades out there that, you know, you make wins even if the price is down over the last 30 days. There's still a lot of gains that you can have trading the upswings and timing the market. That's why we put the work in every single day. We grind it out because it's not always just going to be, I bought crypto back in June of 2025. It's never going to go down. We're never going to see a red day. Okay, I think that's a big misconception. Yes, when crypto's pumping, there are going to be red days involved, and we may have red months, weeks, and stretches where it's ugly, it's volatile. Okay, but the way that it sits right here, right now, the volatility remains at its high peak. There could be one announcement, one tweet on Truth Social on X. President Trump makes an announcement. Boom, crypto goes 10% down. Jerome Powell says the with a capital T. It seems like the market will just go in a tailspin, okay? It's just a very volatile and rocky sport that we're trading in. And for where we're setting up right now, mirroring that 2021 explosion, I'll take it, okay? I'll take it where we're still under $1. It gives us enough time to kind of get us in the right position, make the best decisions for ourselves. And if you do have that breakthrough, very similar to back in 2021, because I can guarantee you this, guys, nobody knew what highs we were headed to, okay? And if you were around back then, you were trading, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because a lot of you guys were probably new to this all. And that bull run in 2021 is one for the ages, as you do look at a lot of cryptos that went to crazy levels that a lot of people say we'll never see again, okay? But institutional adoption, retail adoption has been showing good numbers. Those growth numbers are still present. And it's just kind of in that calm before the storm mode, okay? So yes, Cardano will go on stretches where it pumps. We will look at these fractals and kind of use them as analysis and past performance. Obviously, for all of you that do not know, disclaimers, it does not indicate future results, but you kind of have to look back at history, okay? Because history does sometimes repeat. And if Cardano does go on that trajectory, That's one where we're going to have to look out, because we could hit $1 very quickly, next stop $2, and then we'll have those very nice videos. We'll be breaking down the potential for Cardano all-time highs, which I would love to be doing. Trust me. Okay. So appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you once more. If you don't hit that subscribe button, it's okay. But if you can, hit that subscribe button. Please like this video. Show some love. Thank you all for watching. Remember to sign up with BITUNIX if you want to start trading on that platform. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.